Hello everyone, and welcome back to another session of Dark Souls PvP and another weapon showcase. This time I am using Astora's Straight Sword. Now this weapon is one that a lot of people pick up and wonder, why is it not good? Well, there's a few good reasons for that. Now, first off, this weapon, just to go over some basic info on it, it requires 10 strength and 10 dexterity and 14 faith in order to wield. It has C scalings in all of the above, and it has a weight of 3 units. So that's all well and good. The issues with this sword though would be the fact that it's got low base damage, being 80 physical damage and 80 magic damage. Low base damage. Split damage as well, so that's not a good thing. It also has a holy modifier. So what that means is if you use it in the catacombs, the skeleton enemies will not reassemble themselves, which is fantastic. Chances are, though, by that point in the game, you've probably found out how to get a divine weapon by then, or have a different type of divine weapon. So it's really not that useful. Also, a lot of people can just bum rush to the necromancers and kill them, and they don't have to worry about the skeletons respawning to begin with. So that's a thing, I guess. Now, the pros and the cons of this weapon. I'm going to start off with the cons this time, just because there are so many more cons than pros. Now, the first biggest con of the weapon, it does low damage. It's got a split damage. It's got a split AR. So what that means is you're splitting your damage between physical and magic. What's the big deal? For those who don't know, it's a big deal because you have two different sets of resistances that you need to go through when you have a situation like that, when you have split damage. With my build, I made a specialized build for this and for the Dragon Slayer Spear. I've got an AR of 390 with this thing. Compare that to any weapon that is doing pure physical damage and has a similar AR. It's kind of bad, the damage output, as opposed to the AR. That's where the issue is. So that's that. Other cons of the weapon: you need high faith, high strength, high dexterity in order to get a decent AR out of it. You need a lot of stat investment, and really it requires a dedicated build. So that's kind of a problem. Now, most players, when they're new, they'll just sort of do a, as my friend calls, a just whatever I feel like build, and they might pick up this weapon, they might throw a few stats here, a few stats there, just to use it, and see how it goes. And they'll use it for a little while and realize it doesn't do nearly as much damage as it should, and chances are they'll just ditch it. And, you know, it's really understandable. It's not a great weapon. Now, other cons, other big cons that this thing has, really that's pretty much it. Those are the biggest cons: the split damage, the low AR, and that's really all that makes this sword not worth using. Now, if you compare it to an occult or a divine longsword, same weight and everything, those will actually have a higher damage output than this. So that kind of puts things in perspective, I guess. Now, the pros of the weapon: first off, the biggest pro, you have the longsword moveset and speed, which is a great thing. It can combo very well in PvP, and that's really the only reason I was able to win a few of these fights, because the people I was fighting against had either low poise or no poise, and I was able to combo them. So that's really the only reason why this thing was somewhat viable for me. Other than that, though, I mean, there really aren't too many pros as far as PvP is concerned. PvE, of course, you've got the fact that the skeletons don't reassemble themselves, and that's a great thing. But overall, it's just not a very useful weapon for PvP. You've got so many better options, and that's just the way it is. It's not a bad weapon to use for PvE, it's just it doesn't have a place in PvP, in my opinion. It's just outclassed, really. That's all I'm getting at. So anyway, there is one fight left after this. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, found it helpful in one way or another, and I don't really feel like repeating the pros and cons because I feel like a broken record. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time.